Hello, thanks for joining us for this month's Global SU Share Fair. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia, and we're all really excited to be doing this again. I know that most of you enjoy our cards. We love seeing the cards that you make, so if you do make our cards, please post them to the group. It always gives warm fuzzy feelings when you see that somebody's done something that you've created and that you like. So let's get straight into it. This is my card for today. Now, it's a bit of a different fun fold, and what we're going to do is it opens like that, so she's holding a little banner, and then it opens like that. I see we've got some people from the States joining us. Hello everybody, I'm so pleased that you're with me. Now, talking about the supplies that I used, like I said in my intro video, I used a whole lot of stuff. That's my main stamp set. It's Delivering Cheer, which is my favorite stamp set in that new mini catalogue. This is an unusual one for us because it is just a stamp set. So usually there's a bundle or there's a suite and you've got everything coordinating. But because this doesn't have anything coordinating, I had to go and steal from everywhere else to make it up. So I'm borrowing the Christmas tree from Whimsical Trees. Sandra was okay with lending me a Christmas tree. I'm using one frame from the Textures and Frames celebration, so I've stolen that from Chrissy, and I'm sure that her stamp is going to be far more exciting using the stamp set than mine is. Then what I didn't mention yesterday is for my sentiment, I don't know if you're going to see this very well because it doesn't have a backing, I'm using the greeting from the Christmas Whimsy card kit. Okay, so like I said, I am all over the show with what I'm using here. Then dragging in all the other stuff, I'm using that rectangle from the Scallop Contours dies, and I've used the edging for the inside. And of course the last thing is some of the Christmas trees dies. I've used the little Christmas tree to cut out my Christmas tree and that one for the tinsel. So I think that Stampin' Up! Does make it easy for us when they have everything coordinating, but sometimes we maybe just get a little bit boxed in where we think that, okay, I've got all of this, so let's work with it. You can actually mix and match the bundles and the suites. So let's get started. Now, a lot of you probably know I normally do my stamping and then I do my assembling. Today I'm going to be working a little bit backwards because I'm going to do my card assembly first and then I'm going to do the stamping. So as we go, it'll make sense why I'm doing that. I will put the measurements in my description, but it's very basic. There's no fancy measurements in this card. It's my standard card base. I've used Cherry Cobbler, and I'm going to just stick my insert in. So for my insert, I stuck a piece of DSP down the side, and I've just put my little die right on the edge and cut it out so that I've got that nice fancy edge. I have about 5 different bottles of glue here. I keep using them and using them until I'm absolutely convinced that there's nothing left inside them. But this one looks like it's about half full, so that should be good for today. Okay. No, don't do that. Okay, do not do that. Do not do what I just did. Do not stick that insert in just yet. Now, how am I going to deal with this? I've made a right royal mess of that. Okay. First, you're going to, told you I'm not used to working like this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is stick our rectangle onto the front of the card. Now make sure, yep, that's the one that's got glue on. So we're going to stick that onto there. Okay, so kind of centered, doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be 100%. Then I'm going to take my arm, which is the full length of the card, so 10.5 centimeters, it would be your 4.25 inches. And I've taken another rectangle and I've just cut off the top or the bottom, doesn't matter, at 5 centimeters or 2 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get glue over everything, stick this onto my arm. Now the arm is slightly smaller than my rectangle, so I want the bottom to meet up, and we're going to just have a little bit of an edge. Okay, I am having a disastrous day today. That has to be stuck like that. That means when I'm flipping it over, that has to be on that side. Okay, I don't know why everything's so hard today. Maybe it's because of the week that we've had in Melbourne. Has anybody been watching the news? We're supposed to be in summer, but, well, spring, the weather's still freezing. We're still in lockdown. We're having our COVID cases rising. We've had riots in the streets, and we had an earthquake. So what more could happen in Melbourne this week? Okay, so now that we've got that stuck onto the right side, I want that positioned so that my rectangle lines up exactly. And then I'm going to fold that edge around the side of the card. Okay, so we'll just give it a little press with the bone folder. Keep it in place because we want it lined up so that you've got the surprise there when you open your card. Okay, keeping that there. Flip it over. Put some glue on the bar, on the edge. Now be quite generous with your glue here because you want it to hold well. Now I'm going to mess this up completely. Okay, so close it. We want it to stick there. I'm not pressing down because otherwise my whole card is going to glue in. Oh, Annette, did you feel the earthquake as well? I said the next thing we're going to have elephants stampeding in the streets. My district manager says she's waiting for the locusts. Nah, if they're locusts, I'm out of here. I do not do bugs. Okay, so now that we've got that stuck, we're going to stick the insert in, and you can see now the reason for that is that I want the insert to cover the arm here, and that's going to hide that, and that's coming over. So we can just give that a nice press. Okay. Now I'm ready to start stamping. So I'm going to be using my Stays On ink and Memento. I could probably just use Stays On for everything, but when I'm stamping on paper, I just prefer the Memento. I find the Stays On a little bit sticky. So if you're happy with just Stays On, then go for it. Yeah, Terry, we've been having fun in Melbourne. I tell you, we need a break. Okay, so starting off, I'm going to stamp her skirt, and now you can see why I wanted the card assembled first so that we can position it. Okay. There we go. I'm not too worried about that because we are going to stamp over it. And while I'm busy with this stamp, I'm going to stamp it again this time, and I better make sure that I know which is memento and which is stays on because they look the same, kind of. Okay, I'm going to stamp this onto my shimmer vellum. Now, I don't need her legs on the shimmer vellum. I just need the skirt. So, there we go. It's stacked nicely. I'm happy with that, and you can see there, it'll be fine. We're going to cover all of that up anyway. Next, I'm going to stamp my presents. If I can find where I put them. Okay, if I can't, then we have a bit of a problem because I really need those. I thought I was so organized and I had everything together. Okay, never mind. I'm going to stamp my frame because I have already stamped the presents because I didn't want to spend too much time. I don't know where they've got to. That's absolutely bizarre. One day I'm actually going to get through a presentation without something disappearing on me. I don't know what it is, but okay. Oh, here we go. It came back. Sometimes it helps if you just whinge a bit, then things come back. Okay, so I'm going to stamp 2 of my presents onto my white paper. And then I'm going to stamp 1 onto my lighter DSP. Okay. And we're going to stamp another lot of presents onto the darker DSP. So I've used the DSP from the Christmas Tidings DSP pack, but you can use whatever DSP you like. And that's not enough. We're going to stamp our presents onto my silver specialty paper, and here I'm using the stays on because otherwise it's going to smudge. Okay, so one of those, and I'm stamping another one onto my gold paper. Now, I don't know what happened to me with this card. I think that I was channeling Sandra because, you know, Sandra's the queen of fussy cutting, and I normally don't like fussy cutting, so heads up, this is not a quick card. It takes a lot of cutting, but because you know that I really don't like you sitting and watching me doing monotonous things, I've done most of the cutting in advance. So I'll just show you with our presents. We're going to cut one out, the full one, and then with the second one we're actually going to cut off her arms. So we're getting a little bit Frankenstein here, okay, but we're going to put it all back together again. Okay, so you're going to cut that out, and bingo, you've got your presents. You've got another one which is your whole box cut out, and this one I didn't cut in advance. Okay. You're then also going to cut out the presents on the DSP. So 2 lots of presents, and that was why I decided to do it one color, because you can then, instead of having to cut out each present individually, you can cut out a few of them together where they joined, and you're going to cut out all your little ribbons and embellishments on your silver and gold paper. Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to torture you. You don't need to watch me do all of that because I've already done it. Now we're going to paper piece the whole lot together. So again, I've already done the one. With the other one, I thought I would just quickly do it while I'm with you. Be careful because some of these pieces are really little and you don't want to lose them. I actually find it easier to stick them as I cut them. So if you've cut out your present, you're just then sticking as you're going. But I thought I would save one for you. Come on, glue. Be careful with your glue. You don't want to be too heavy-handed because then it's going to squish everywhere. And you may notice that I have actually stuck two pieces on just because they were so tiny. I was sure they were going to get lost, so I've already stuck that one, and you may not be able to see it, but there's a tiny piece of the DSP that's stuck in the corner. So this is a very Sandra card with all the fussy cutting. I must admit, not sure by now you all know fussy cutting's not my favorite, but every now and again you just get something that needs it. And I have to say that when you do the fussy cutting, it is worth the effort because you normally get really beautiful results. And see what I said here? You can get most of your presents in one piece if you're doing it all in the same color. So I do have another card which I started. It's not quite finished. It was my first one where I was doing each present in different colors. I'll show that to you when I'm done here. And I just decided that for our purposes, it's much easier if we've got it all in one. It does save some effort. And I figured that if I'm wrapping up a whole stack of presents, chances are I'm not doing each one in a separate color. I might have 2 or 3 different rolls of paper if I'm giving everybody in the same family, but for the most part I'm going to wrap it in the same color. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so there we go. We now have 2 piles of wrapped presents. They're my little arms. Okay, and I need to cut out her skirt. So I'm taking my shimmer vellum and I'm sticking it onto my soft succulent. You can have that directly, but I just find that with the soft succulent or with your colored cardstock behind it, it just gives it a deeper color. So it's up to you whether you want it to look very sort of filmy and truly, or whether you're happy with it being a bit more solid. Right, that's it. I'm done with all the fussy cutting that you need to watch me through. I don't want to tell you how long it took me to do all my other fussy cutting, but that's okay. Like I said, hopefully you think it's worth it in the end. Right, so there's a skirt on, and then I'm just going to colour in her legs. So I'm using the light petal pink here, And I've got the dark smoky slate. We're just going to give her some grey shoes. Okay, now I've coloured in her arms as well. Remember the arms that I cut off, and I've cut them out. And here's where it gets a little bit fiddly, but just persevere. So you'll see that this has got a bit of a straight edge, which I'm going to fit on top of her skirt there. And then I want the hands to fit it. So we're going to have one hand that's going to sit there. Okay. Stay. And of course now my fingers have glue on them. And the other one fits in. Yep, let's not everything. Okay, and my other one fits in over there. Right, I'm going to just do them one at a time. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue behind that hand. Okay. And I like that. Okay, so that's going to be holding that there. And we'll put a little bit of glue behind this hand. And that's going there. Okay, I don't want you sticking yet. Now I'm going to put the arms, trying not to move the hands, behind. No, why did you do that? Okay. Let's go there, and I've got so much glue on my fingers from all those little bits. Stay there. Just stay there. Okay. Behind there, you're staying there. And then we're going to glue our sign down. And that's fitting on top of the dress. Okay. And then this lot of presents is going on top over there. Now for my Christmas tree, I'm going to, and I've already done one because I knew this was going to take me time, so I'm stamping that Christmas tree with Evening Evergreen ink onto my Evening Evergreen paper. Cut that out with the little Christmas tree die, and I've cut the tinsel from the Bedazzling Celebration paper. If you don't have this, I think you probably want it, because I think that it's a really good for Christmas, making Christmas trees sparkle with the tinsel. Okay, so we're just gonna see. Not sure why that's so sticky, but oh, I know why it's so sticky, because I was clever and I put adhesive sheet behind it. I'm thinking, why? I forgot that I did that. I'm thinking, why is this so sticky? There was a glue from my finger. Alright, so that we're going to stick our Christmas tree in the corner next to her over here. You can see I changed my mind. I think that the Evening Evergreen is a better option there. And before I stick this, let's just stamp my sentiment. Should have done that while I was doing all my stamping, but I think I was too keen to get onto the paper piecing. So you want a little sentiment that's going to fit inside your frame. This one has one that's got Season's Greetings, which is about the same size as this Merriest Christmas to You, so that would also fit in there. You could leave off the Christmas tree and have it as a birthday card. Okay, and lastly, we're going to pop our presents onto dimensionals, and those are going in front of the tree. Okay, so those are our cards. Now, like I said to you, I'll just show you my process that was going on here. And I'm sure that the other ladies do the same thing. You start off with an idea in your head, how you think the card's going to be. So that was my first one. And here's where I said to you, I did every present in different paper. So looks really nice, but that takes even longer because you've got extra stamping to do with all the different paper. This one, I haven't finished it. It was going to be a birthday card, so no Christmas tree. I would stamp a happy birthday in here, but then when I looked at it, I didn't like that. That was when I decided to put the extra rectangle on top. So that was that one. And then my next one, which also isn't finished, I did her skirt in the ombre glitter paper. And I thought that it would work well, but then to me that came out a bit too pink with the red. So it looked like the Qantas uniform. Does anybody know the Qantas uniform where they put pink and red together, and I think it looks terrible. And then the other glitter paper, the colors weren't working for me, so that was why I decided to go with the shimmer vellum. So that's my card. Okay, you've got the message. She's holding it. She can be saying whatever you want her to say as long as it's fitting inside the frame. And you've got the inside to write your note. Right, so that's me done. I will create an album and put up photos of the cards that you'll be able to go, and it'll give you direct to the video. Remember, keep your notes going during the day. That if there's anything that you want, make your notes, go back to the presenter that invited you to the share fair to place your order. I've used a few of the celebration items in here. I'm sure the others are also going to be using celebration. And you've got a week, okay? Less than a week. 30th of September, celebration's over. So just be sure that if you want anything, you get your order in, because once it's over, they're gone. You're not going to be able to get it. And then I'm going to very quickly just share with you, I don't know how well it works, but it was a tip from one of the other demonstrators in Australia. So I thought I would just share it really quickly. She says, keep a ball of tin foil with you when you're crafting. And whenever you've done a lot of fussy cutting, just take your scissors, and clearly I've done that a few times, and run the scissors through the tin foil, and it will keep your scissors sharp. So you just want to do that a couple of times every time. She said it sometimes takes a few weeks before you get it really nice and sharp, but if you're doing that, it'll keep your scissors sharp. I've only been doing it for about a week, so I have found that where you've got a lot of gunk and glue on your scissors, it does clear that. So I'll keep on going and see if it gets it nice and sharp for me. So Annette's up next. I always love Annette's cards. So let's hop over to Canberra. No riots, just earthquakes there, and see what she's got for us. I'll catch up with you in a little while. Bye.